I found myself screaming into my phone, demanding that my brother-in-law pack his bags and go home. I told him point blank that he had neglected his own family in favor of a crisis he couldn't fix. My anger was for my sister. 7 months into a pregnancy, marked by constant nausea and heavy physical strain. Because of a recent work relocation, she is living in a foreign country without family nearby. She is managing 2 active toddlers on her own. Stepping into a sibling's marriage is a last resort. It only happens when you see someone pushed past their limit, while their partner is nowhere to be found. The situation broke when one of the toddlers fell ill. My sister spent the night awake, fighting her pregnancy aches while tending to the sick child. Her husband's side of the bed had been empty for over a week. She called me in tears, describing the physical and mental exhaustion of being the sole provider for 2 children, while her own body felt like it was failing. Isolation turns a standard parenting challenge into a survival crisis. Without a backup, there is no relief, absolutely no sleep, and no room for error. To understand why he would leave his pregnant wife alone for weeks, we have to look at where he was going. His best friend is in the final stages of a neurodegenerative disease. The condition has progressed to a point where he requires constant, intensive physical care. This diagram illustrates the physical reality. The friend is over 6 feet tall. His wife cannot safely lift him alone, making the brother-in-law's presence required to move. He was performing exhausting manual labor out of duty to a dying man. The problem is that his absences were lasting up to 3 weeks at a time. We can analyze who needed his presence more by looking at resource asymmetry, the difference in the safety nets available to each person. The dying friend had a support network. He had his wife, hired professional nurses, and a community of friends. My sister, however, had no one. In that foreign country, her husband was her only node of support. On the phone, I demanded he find a middle ground. He needed to support his friend without leaving his wife to manage a household and 2 toddlers alone. He reacted with fury, claiming I was asking him to abandon a man on his deathbed. Crisis can cause tunnel vision. By focusing on the tragedy he could see, he became blind to the damage he was causing to the people who relied on him most. The phone call caused an immediate, severe fracture. He and my sister had a massive fight that night. Then the extended family intervened. His parents, who loved the dying friend like a son, took their son's side. They attacked my sister, calling her selfish. They argued that because she had handled 2 pregnancies before, she should endure this one in silence. This is how grief can be weaponized. When people are faced with a terminal tragedy they cannot fix, they often project their frustration onto the most visible target. By demanding my sister sacrifice her well-being, the parents could feel like they were doing something to honor the dying man. There is a paradox in this kind of heroism. Sacrifices made for those outside the home lose their meaning if they require destroying the foundation of the home itself. Loyalty is measured by the difficult choices required to protect the family that relies on you for survival.